What is up? My name is Keelan and this is Rarity Reviews. Today we have a special item, like always. The #1 review channel. This is going to be awesome. Today we have a bike tool. This is a not common bike tool in the basic bike world, but once you start moving up, you get into more advanced parts, and this is one of them. Today we got the Pro Bike tool. And you can be like, what? That could be anything, but this is a torque wrench for bikes. I mean, there is other versions out there, but this wrench seemed really more priced because it is priced around $45, and the higher end ones were about $65 to $70. So this one was a very solid choice. In my opinion, I've tested it out once, and so far it's been a really good item. So the Pro Bike tool bike wrench I got off Amazon, and it is wonderful. And it has a hard case, pure black, has a Pro Bike tool on top, and there is a aluminum clip to close it. So let's get into this. Right, it has a nice clip, solid. Nice hard case. Now the first things you see is a certificate, and it is showing it's been pre-tested and everything works. Different torques from all the way down, and it has the name of who it is. I'm not going to show that, but it does have instructions, but this is why you're watching the video. So you got the wrench. Very nice display. I like the black and silver. Goes very well with it, and it does have torque settings on it, of course, and the highest one is 20, and you can do points in between of them too if you want to be really precise. It can switch from left to right, and a quick release button right there on top. So the way to do this is you pull this down and you turn the main thing to change the torque, but we'll show you that in a second. So there's that. It does have an attachment, a longer attachment to get in hard places. This does not come with it. I use this for my crank arms. This does not come with it. It is just stored right here. And we have all different types of attachments. We got stars. We got 3 different star, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different types of Allen keys that come with it. And the biggest one is 10 all the way down to 3. We got 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10. 8's probably going to be your most common, and 5 is going to be the most common for a bike. But you can use this torque wrench for other stuff too besides bikes. Anything that needs a less amount of torque, you can use this on. They're easily to take out, not that hard to get in either. They have a nice snap into it. It's just a wonderful one. There is different types of torque wrenches. This one is one you can adjust into different ones. Park Tool also makes one, and it has 3 different settings. Like, it has 5, 4, and 6 on it, and Bontrager actually makes one too. That one is a really good one. I will link those in the description too if you want to check those ones out. Those ones might be a little more spendy, but might not. So you can check those out, and you can check this one out. But let's go show you how to use this. Alright, we're on the shed, and we are going to learn how to use this. So once you take it out, you want to go over to your bike, and usually it'll say it right on it. Say like this one has it right there, and that says 6N.M Newton meters, and you'll sit on that, and
It has one right there. You can't see it that well, but it has it on pretty much almost every major bolt. This one says 5 on it. So you want 5 on this side and that side, and this one says 6 Newton meters. So usually on the bolt, sometimes it won't, like these ones.
So you might have to guess with that. Just don't get them too tight or too over tight. You just want them snug on these shock ones. So if you don't know, you either look up a manual for it or look in the manual that you got with the bike when you bought it. Or if you don't have one, you can look online and they'll actually, sometimes they'll have it and sometimes they won't. Or you can contact Cannondale. I'm sure they would have it, but just make sure it's not too tight. Oh yeah. Another thing you can do, you can go to the bike shop and they would definitely know how to do it. So let's get started with this. First you want to do is you press this in and then you slide one of these on so it's sticking out, and then it should hold. And you want to make sure it's on the one you're tightening on. So we're going to flip it to the right to tighten it. And then on here, we're going to pull this down and wait until it goes up to 6. And when it's lined up with this line 0 and the bottom one is on the 6th line, then we're nowhere there. This one does not click. It's all about the filling in the head. So you want to get that in there, make sure it's all the way down, and I don't know if you'll hear this or not. Oh, wrong way. Can you hear this? That's what it does. You see my hand? So when you have it, it just... That's what it does. That's how you know when it's tight. So when it clicks like that and the head moves, you know it's good. Look at this side. There we go. So like this one has 6 too. We're gonna slot that in there. And that one's good. If you want to just check all the bolts, you can. Just like that. Extension works the same way with the torque, but you can switch all these out and just have it on here if you want. And then you can get an adapter for a bigger one if you want, but I don't think you would need a bigger one for this because you might need more torque for a bigger one. So keep in mind, this thing is not a breaker bar, so try not to loosen bolts with it if they're really tight. But if you over torqued it, then you can back it off, but I would not undo really tight bolts with it or it might break it. So that's with every torque wrench, just keeping that in mind. But yeah, other than that, it works amazing.